We may have just witnessed the greatest PLE in the entire Triple H era last night in Summerslam. Now, I don't want to over-exaggerate on how amazing this PLE was, but I also want to go over every single match, talk about the significance, and talk about the one elephant in the room, and that was the return of arguably, I don't even know if it's arguable at this point, of the greatest wrestler of this past generation. Before we get into the review of SummerSlam real quick, if you guys enjoy professional wrestling content, especially content about the WWE, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell for notifications so you guys don't miss any of the future videos. And with that being said, let's talk about what I think may be the greatest PLE under the Triple H banner. So I'm going to go with these matches in order from how they happened. So first up, we had Liv Morgan against Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. So before the match started, we had an entrance with Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio being like the power couple they are, back together, all happy. They escorted each other from the back of the arena to the entrance, and he escorted her in the entrance, letting her have all the spotlight, just like a little boy toy would. Obviously, the pop Rhea had was absolutely amazing. You know the crowd is always behind her, but Liv Morgan came out next, and I actually expected Liv Morgan to get a little bit of heat here, but I was wrong. Liv Morgan had just as big of a pop as Rhea Ripley did. Now, as the match started, we played a little bit of cat and mouse. Every single time Rhea would come after Liv, Liv would run away, Rhea would come after Liv. She would chase her, she would run, she would chase her, she would run. Eventually, we got into a little bit of an action, but Liv Morgan threw Rhea Ripley into a corner, and in that situation, we had Rhea Ripley, you know, pop her shoulder out of her socket, or what seemed like she popped her shoulder out of her socket. I think it was all kayfabe. I don't think they would actually let her wrestle, you know, in the match, pulling the curtain back a little bit. But because I know so many people, the only reason I'm addressing this is so many people were DMing me and asking me, do you think Rhea's really hurt? Do you think Rhea's really hurt? Truly concerned for her. Obviously, I'm a big Rhea fan as well. I don't think she was actually hurt. I think she just does an absolutely amazing job at the way she sells it, and the way she was like pulling her shoulder down. It made it look like it was really out of her socket. And, you know, we were all worried about it. The ref was asking if she wants to continue, and she's like, do not end the match. Like the freaking Terminator. She's like, do not end the match. And I was like, oh shit, Rhea Ripley's for real. To this point, we saw a really cool spot where Rhea Ripley was trying to figure out how to pop it back into the socket. She ran shoulder first into the announce table. Boom! Knocks the thing back into the socket like a freaking demon, goes in there, starts destroying Liv Morgan. Eventually, they tussle for a little bit. Rhea goes to hit a finisher, gets reversed into a DDT. Somehow her shoulders hurt again, goes into a corner again, slams it in there, puts it back into place again. And at this point, Liv Morgan decided, all right, only way I can stop this woman is if I either beat her with a weapon or I end up getting myself disqualified. Liv Morgan walks out, grabs a chair, and as she's about to hit Rhea Ripley with a chair, Rhea Ripley realized if I hit the chair, I use the chair myself, I can't win the title back. So Rhea gets Liv to drop the chair by kicking her. I don't remember if she hit the riptide yet to this point, but a riptide gets hit, and Rhea Ripley is about to go use the chair on Liv Morgan. Dominic Mysterio grabs the chair from Rhea Ripley as she like cocks it back to hit Liv Morgan. Like she's like this. Dominic grabs it and goes, you can't use this. You're going to get yourself disqualified. You're going to lose. You're not going to win the title, whatever. So, and then Rhea Ripley looks at him like all angry, but realizes, yeah, you're right. So she lets Dom have the chair. Then comes the ultimate betrayal. Dom walks to the other side of the ring, drops the chair in a perfect spot for an oblivion, distracts the referee, and Rhea Ripley gets hit by the oblivion onto the chair. The ref counts 1, 2, 3, and Liv Morgan is still your WWE Women's World Champion. Now, you would think this was the end of everything, but as Liv is trying to compose herself out of the ring, she is laying on the ground. Dom picks her up, and Dom starts making out with her in the middle of the ramp, in the middle of the Cleveland Stadium, while Rhea Ripley looks on in pure disgust and anger as these two make out and have now become the ultimate heel duo. And everyone, like, my reaction, I was sitting there like this in pure shock. Like, I even called it in my predictions that that's what would happen, and I was still in shock to actually see it happen. This was one of the greatest starts to a PLE you can have. The emotions were high. The excitement was high. You were waiting for a betrayal. For some reason, everybody thought it was going to be Finn Balor to betray Rhea Ripley. I have no idea where they were coming up with that. But, like, watching it happen was the most insane thing. And I am so happy that we get to see this culmination of the story. And we know the story is still not finished, which makes it even cooler that we're going to get more parts to this. Next up, we have Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. This match was pretty cut and dry. Braun Breaker came out. You could feel the aura of the guy. I keep trying to tell you guys, Braun Breaker is the definition of like what a superstar is and superstar looks like. Like when you see Braun Breaker, you go, that is a professional wrestler. That is the type of guy you want at the top of the WWE. That is the type of guy that runs a company. Like, he has everything you want in a superstar professional wrestler, and it was so awesome. He came out, he looked like that guy. Sami Zayn came out, the pop was great for him. You know, the fans are always behind Sami Zayn. The match was all right. I was really happy that Braun Breaker looked very dominant in this match. I was very happy that it didn't feel very Sami Zayn underdog-esque. Like, I don't feel like Sami Zayn, you know, played that character in this match, which I was very happy with. I think Sami Zayn dropping that underdog, like, kind of like Cody, he's like a Cody Rhodes, but in the mid-card right now character. And I think that's not the best way for him to go because of the fact that he's already a champion. So I was happy this match went down for, you know, basically Braun Breaker putting Sami Zayn over. Braun Breaker hit the spear, and then he hit the super spear where he like has the person hurt on their like knees, and then he runs the ropes into a super spear. I was very happy that that was actually the finish too, and Sami didn't kick out of that. And we had our new Intercontinental champion in Braun Breaker. Match was pretty cut and dry. You knew exactly what they were doing here. They wanted to finally crown Braun Breaker in front of a massive crowd, which I guess was the right call, even though I do not think he should have lost the first match. I am very happy Braun Breaker can finally have a title, and I hope he defends it a couple times, few PLEs, I hope, until we move him into a main event scene. So next up, we had Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Yeah, Logan Paul came out in this match in pure Logan Paul fashion. He came out in the Cleveland Browns, brown and orange colors, which looked absolutely disgusting. I think we could all agree the Browns colors are not that appealing to the eye. But he had someone standing in the, you know, walkway for him, and it was this guy, and I was like, oh man, he's about to get jumped by LA Knight. And it was Machine Gun Kelly. And I forgot Machine Gun Kelly is also from Cleveland. And I was like, oh, MGK is going to be the good guy in this situation. No, he was there for Logan Paul. So they walked down the ramp together, yay, woo, all excited. They were all, you know, cheery weary. Then we panned to LA Knight's entrance. And if you don't remember, on SmackDown, LA Knight stole Logan Paul's Prime truck. He came in on the Prime truck. He actually busted the window down, saying he couldn't see when he was driving the car. So he like had like a pipe, busted the window down, said that this was collateral. You'll get your truck back when I get my United States title. He comes out. The pop was crazy. LA Knight is insanely over, and the match begins. Match was pretty cut and dry. Logan Paul match. It's always amazing. Logan Paul does not know how to put on bad matches. He is, you can argue he is the best wrestler in the ring right now. Like, in terms of entertainment wise, I think Seth Rollins is still the best WWE wrestler in the ring, but entertainment wise, Logan Paul does an amazing time every time. And he, I think, elevates everyone he works with. He made LA Knight look a lot better in ring than he normally does. And I'm a LA Knight fanboy. I can tell you, anyone works with Logan Paul, he just makes you a better wrestler. He's just so good at what he does. At one point, which I said on my predictions that he will have the most viral moment of this match. Obviously, I think if you go purely most viral moment, it's what happened at the end of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. But in ring wise, he hit a springboard moonsault where he did a 180, jumping onto the top ropes, tippy-toed the top ropes, and did a moonsault that looked so beautiful. I was just like, How is this guy only been doing this for a couple years? He is so good at what he does. But towards the end of the match, you knew we were going to get some type of interferences. You saw Logan Paul go to his boys that were there, like the usual little crew he had, and MGK. As he was trying to ask them for help, LA Knight went over there. They were talking crap to LA Knight. He pulls them over the barricade, starts beating them up. Logan Paul comes in, beats up LA Knight for a little bit, throws him back in the ring, walks over to MGK, and MGK was wearing a necklace with brass knuckles on it. MGK takes it off. Logan Paul puts on the brass knuckles. As LA Knight's trying to like drag Logan Paul back in the ring, he hits him with the brass knuckles. He's gonna go set up to hit, you know, a finishing move, but Logan Paul gets reversed into a BFT. You guys know how protected the BFT is. We got a 1, 2, 3, and your new United States champion is LA Knight. Yeah. Match was overall very good. Happy to see LA Knight as your new champion, and that means that we have back-to-back matches now with a new champion. Next up, we have Bayley versus Nia Jax. And Nia Jax came out first. As you guys can tell, I am a Nia Jax fan, but I'm also a Bayley fan, so I love both of them. But Nia Jax came out. She came out in her pure Queen of the Ring attire. She had the crown, which was awesome. The one thing that you always notice about Nia Jax is she is, like, when she comes out, she has that aura. Like, there's something about Nia Jax that is very special. You can deny it all you want if you're a Nia Jax hater, but she is very entertaining, very special, and very awesome as a character. So her coming out, you can see fans are starting to get behind her, which is awesome. Then you had Bayley come out. I don't know if her, this is what I want to know from you guys, as some of you guys are a little bit, I think her gear was an homage to the Ultimate Warrior, because like it had like, it just was very Ultimate Warrior-esque. So I don't know if any of you guys had that feeling, but she came out, huge pop. Everyone loves Bayley, even though she was just the biggest super heel on the show. But it's awesome to see everyone behind Bayley, and it's awesome to see people get behind Nia Jax. Match was overall very good. They were, you know, very believable on both sides. They were, you know, beating each other up. Bayley was getting her spots. The moment of the match, in my opinion, before the really big moment, was Nia Jax was going up to hit an Annihilator, and Bayley gets up and holds Nia Jax up for a power bomb and hits her with a power bomb. Like, grabs her off the top ropes, puts her in, carries her all the way to the middle of the ring, bang, power bomb. But somebody's music starts playing, and if you guessed it, we're playing Jeopardy here. Who is Tiffany Stratton's music starts playing, and Tiffany was flying down that ramp. And the one thing that I found really funny was they had a we had, I don't remember if it was WrestleMania or I think it was Royal Rumble one year, where the ramp was so insanely long to get to the ring, and they were like, Tiffany was sprinting, and you saw the referee just trying to keep up. Tiffany gets to the ring, and as she's about to cash in, Bayley knocks her off the ring apron, which was just enough time to distract Bayley for Nia Jax to get up. Nia Jax hits a couple moves on her, takes her to the corner, hits an Annihilator on every single level of the turnbuckles. Boom. 1, 2, 3. And your new WWE Women's Champion, Nia Jax. And we realized at the end that obviously Tiffany Stratton wasn't actually cashing in. It was just all distraction, because Tiffany came in and celebrated with Nia Jax, and you can tell that it was all planned for them to win it together. And it was so cool to see this moment, because both of them celebrating in the ring, they both have that aura of being champions. Like, Tiffany and Nia Jax's story is going to be so good, which I'm going to give you guys a future prediction right now. I obviously think Tiffany Stratton's going to cash in on Nia Jax at some point or another, but it's so awesome to see them be like a Batman or Robin type character right now, especially because I think this is what's going to elevate Tiffany Stratton to the next level. But Nia Jax put on an amazing performance. Very happy to see her champion. I'm very happy to see the storylines they do with this as well. Next up, we have what I like to call the people's main event. We have Drew McIntyre and CM Punk with Seth freaking Rollins as your special guest referee. So this match was pretty good. It was good storytelling. Both guys had really good spots in this match. They started beating each other up, and Seth Rollins was actually like a very fair referee in this match. Like, I expected him to be like a little more of like a evil referee, but outside of not counting any any countouts or anything like that, he was very fair with basically everything that was going on. He was cut and dry. He was saying, hey, you know, rope breaks he gave them, like he was only letting them on the corners get like 5-6 hits in before he like pulled them off. He was counting very fair, and it was funny because they kept mocking him for whatever reason. Like, Drew McIntyre was like mocking him, CM Punk was mocking him. And then as we started getting to later on in the match, Drew McIntyre went to get a chair to go beat up CM Punk with, and Seth Rollins stopped him from using it, which was really awesome because we all know that Seth Rollins hates CM Punk, and I'm sure he would rather have had Drew McIntyre just beat him up with a chair, but he stopped him. For whatever reason, Drew McIntyre brought out the bracelet again to show, hey, I have the bracelet, and CM Punk gets it off of him. Seth Rollins sees it in the middle of the ring. As you guys know, the referee can't just have stuff being in the middle of the ring, so Seth Rollins puts it on his wrist. You had CM Punk end up hitting a flying elbow on to Drew McIntyre, and he was gonna end up putting Drew McIntyre for a GTS. And as he has Drew McIntyre on his shoulders for a GTS, he realizes Seth Rollins has the bracelet on. So he thinks that Seth Rollins is trying to mock him now by having the bracelet. So they get into like a little verbal altercation argument, and Seth Rollins keeps trying to tell him, yo, I don't have it because I'm trying to mock you. I have it because it was in the middle of the ring and I picked it up. So they're arguing, and all of a sudden CM Punk hits Seth Rollins with a GTS, and he takes the bracelet off of a basically lifeless Seth Rollins. So in this moment, that gave enough time for Drew McIntyre to recover from his GTS, or about to be GTS, and he claymores CM Punk. A nearly lifeless Seth Rollins rolls over, counts the 1, 2, 3, and your winner is Drew McIntyre. And the ending shot of this match was Drew McIntyre coming back and taking the bracelet back off of CM Punk and walking out with the bracelet, and still the guy who now holds the bracelet, but now has a win over CM Punk. I don't know where the story basically goes now, because technically CM Punk did hit Seth Rollins with a GTS. So I do believe they probably do go the Seth Rollins and CM Punk way. But I kind of hope we get a triple threat match between these three guys at a Bad Blood, either in a steel cage or in a Hell in a Cell. How they get there, I'm not sure. I hope they get there though. Then we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Damian Priest versus Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, in my opinion, I think that this was arguably the main event of the evening, because we can all say we know how the main event's going to go down. But this match was awesome. It was like the new good guy in Damian Priest against super bad guy Gunther, and I had an amazing time watching this match. I wish somebody would do a chop counter on a Gunther match, because between Damian Priest and Gunther, both of them hit each other with at least like 100 chops. And I know for a fact, if I asked you, who do you think would have had blood on their chest first between Damian Priest and Gunther, only two of you guys are watching this video. Both of you guys would have said that Gunther is 100% gonna be chopping Damian Priest purple, but it was Damian Priest that actually drew first with a crazy chop and then a kick, and I was like, damn, Gunther is busted open. That is kind of crazy. I had never seen Gunther like kind of like that vulnerable, and this was the first time where I feel like on the main roster, Damian Priest looked more dominant than Gunther in this match, and it was one of the most hard-hitting matches I feel like I've seen in a while, because both guys were trying to actually beat each other up, and it's so cool because they're both believable to actually beat each other up. Now, to the spicy parts of the match, about halfway through the match, Finn Balor decides to show up to cheer on Damian Priest, even though Damian Priest before the match told Finn Balor, hey, stay in the back, like I want to do this myself. And there was one little thing in this match before the match in the promo that kind of like I feel like was foreshadowing into what's going to happen, where Damian Priest apologizes to Finn Balor, and Finn Balor goes, "I'm sorry too," when he had no reason to really apologize. Foreshadowing. We get into like the latter half of this match, and Damian Priest starts getting momentum in the match. They start hitting each other with big stuff or whatever, and all of a sudden, Gunther gets a little bit of momentum, and Gunther sees Finn Balor on the outside, and he attacks Finn Balor because he thinks Finn Balor's trying to get involved in the match, which enrages Damian Priest. Like, holy shit, you just hit my friend? Nana. He goes on this rampage tirade, hits Gunther with the Razor's Edge into a south of heaven, and he rolls over to the bottom rope. Damian Priest goes to pin him. 1, 2, and Gunther's leg is on the bottom rope. But how did it get there? On the Jumbotron, they show a replay. Finn Balor put Gunther's leg there. And Finn Balor is standing there with his back to the ring with an evil look on his face, as he knows that he just screwed over his friend in a world title match. And at this moment, Gunther sees a Damian Priest with his back turned to him, puts him into a rear naked choke, and you can see Damian Priest asking Finn Balor for help in this moment, and you can watch as he's fading, realizing that he has been stabbed in the back by the guy he thought is his friend, as he's going out and his eyes are closing. But something gives him this energy to realize, I can't go down like this. He turns it over, and he's about to get all of this back on him, until he realizes, damn, that guy betrayed me. And as he goes to grab, he sprints towards Finn Balor to go grab him by his neck, Gunther one last time sinks in the rear naked choke, and they're laying there on the ground, and you are watching Damian Priest staring at Finn Balor, realizing that knife that he just stuck into the back of his chest is the reason why he is about to go to sleep and lose his title to Gunther. And you watch Damian Priest go limp and go out to sleep. The referee tries to pick his arm up. He doesn't answer it. And Gunther is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And what I believe is one of the saddest turns, because Damian Priest, he's finally getting the fans behind them. He was about to be this awesome babyface champion, and it was all taken away from him by his evil best friend. I do obviously think that this is now going to be the complete implosion of the Judgment Day. I think that Dominic, Liv, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough, as I call him, McDonald's, are going to become their own stable. And Rhea Ripley and Damian, I think, are going to become, I don't know about a stable, but two friends that have each other's back. Overall, I thought this match was amazing. The storytelling was awesome. Most of these matches were just really good. Up until this point, I would give almost all of these matches a 10, outside of Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker would get a much lower rating, because it was obviously a passing of the torch type match. It wasn't anything special, but every match here I was on the edge of my seat and excited for. And up until this point, I was just I can't believe we have one more match, and it's the main event of the evening, and the match we're all excited for, because if what we think is going to happen happens, I'm going to lose my mind. So we finally make it to the main event of the evening. We have Cody Rhodes or Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa enters this match by himself. He just walks out by himself. He has the Ula Fala around his neck as the tribal chief. And it was, in my opinion, pretty cool that he decided to enter by himself, which obviously we know that the rest of his family is going to get involved at some point. But it was awesome to see him try to actually be a solo dude and show that he's coming to take that title by himself. Cody Rhodes, on the other hand, starts his walk to the ring in his little truck, his whatever, RV, or why am I blanking on what it is? His tour bus. And he walks out, and Pharaoh, his dog, is waiting at the bottom. And I found out that Pharaoh is going to be the final time that Pharaoh is actually going to be on the road with him. I know Pharaoh's getting a little older, is what I read. I usually, joke about Cody Rhodes needs the dog to put him over. But as someone who has an animal and loves his animal, I do respect that he wanted to give his dog one last walk. And to do it at SummerSlam is kind of cool. And as he's walking through the ring, through the backstage, he runs into Arn Anderson, one of the Four Horsemen. And he lets Arn lets him know that he still has friends that will have his back. Now, at this point, I was like, does that mean that Ric Flair is going to help him? Sting's going to come help him? Lex Luger, I don't know who else is still alive from the Four Horsemen. Somebody's going to help him from the Four Horsemen. But Cody Rhodes eventually walks in. He's wearing that like gold skull helmet that he had at WrestleMania and stuff like that. And it was kind of cool to get like that entrance from him again and see that moment for him again. This match was literally a carbon copy of WrestleMania, where both guys have their moments. This guy hits this move, this guy hits that move, near fall here, near fall there. And then stuff starts happening is where Solo looks like he needs a little help. And here comes the Tonga brothers, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Do you think that Tonga Loa had a botch? I'm going to give you guys a second. Yes, obviously he had a botch. As he was trying to put Cody Rhodes into a corner, like he went to like shoulder him into a corner. For some reason, the guy hit the side ropes and then hit the corner. I will give him a little credit. He is a one-eyed pirate right now. He probably just didn't have the right depth perception. But it's so funny that at this point, I think Tonga Loa is purposely botching moves. I think it's like kayfabe at this point in the storyline that Tonga Loa botches moves. But the Tonga brothers come out and help him first. They beat up Cody. And here comes Cody's first reinforcement in Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out, he does his moves, whatever. But obviously the numbers game, and the Tonga brothers start to beat up Kevin Owens, which comes the next reinforcement for Cody Rhodes. And it is the Viper, Randy Orton. And we had, in my opinion, one of the funniest moments of this, because Randy Orton was running in 0.5 speed to the ring, where he was like doing like his normal Randy run, and he's like celebrating. He did this little like arm thing, like where he was like this, then he starts like clapping with the crowd and stuff, and then he gets in there. They beat up the Tonga brothers, hit finishers on everyone, and we get every finisher hit on Solo, and we start getting a pin, and Solo kicks out of all three finishers, which was kind of like, in my opinion, starting to put Solo over, that he's able to take all these finishers and not be put down after that crazy losing streak he had as a solo guy. So at this point, you had the Tonga brothers run out of the ring, and you had the duo of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton chase after them. So now we have just these two guys in the ring. And here comes your special reinforcement after Cody Rhodes is about to win this match with a triple crossroads in the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. And Fatu absolutely beats the crap out of Cody Rhodes. So he also then ends up taking Cody Rhodes on the outside, puts him on the announce table, hits I'll call it a werewolf splash at this point. But when he hits the splash, he either hit his knee or his foot in like an awkward way, where he either tore his ACL, broke his foot, sprained something. And I'm going to explain how I think the end of this match is supposed to go after, but he can't get back in the ring. Like, he's injured, and he like yells at Solo, finish the match, finish the match. So Solo gets him back in the ring. Solo looks like he's about to win this match, and both guys end up like knocking themselves out, to which point you hear the music. And what do I mean by that music? You hear the Tribal Chiefs WrestleMania song come out. And at this point, I am in shock. There is no way this is really going to happen. And Roman Reigns walks out, and he is slowly walking to the ring, and they pan to Solo's face, and Solo's eyes are like, he's not supposed to be here. He's not supposed to be here. And everyone is asking on commentary, who is he coming for? Who is he coming for? As he is standing there, he makes his decision, and Roman runs in the ring. Superman punches Solo, hits him with a legendary spear, and walks out of there, while he first gives a look to Cody going like, you got this. Cody Rhodes sets it up. Bang, bang, bang. Triple crossroads into a 1, 2, 3. And still your WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. Now, here's how I think this match was supposed to end. I think that Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu were supposed to get Cody in the ring together. And I think they were going to set up the same exact finishing move that Roman hit with Solo, where Solo was going to go for the super spear onto Cody while Jacob hits him with a spike. And then Roman was going to come out. He was going to Superman punch Jacob Fatu and then spear Solo and let Cody get the win. But I think Jacob Fatu getting injured messed that up a little bit. But this was insane to witness. And as Roman is walking out, he looks back at Cody, nods his head of approval, like, all right, I'll take care of this myself type beat. And that was cinema, bro. Like, this was the culmination of multiple storylines that we actually cared about finally, I hope, ending at SummerSlam. And Monday Night Raw is going to be unbelievable. This, in my opinion, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I do think this SummerSlam was better than Night 2 at WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania was completely carried by the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes match. I think every match on this card was a nearly 5-star match outside of Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. This was an amazing overall PLE, and I would give this PLE 5 stars as a PLE, and I am very happy with the overall storytelling that we had here. Normally, I would like to just make fun of Triple H because he loves to carry his PLEs with his main event. He did a great job on this, and I am very, very happy and excited for what the future holds for this. Now, I know I yapped your ears off for probably like 30 minutes at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed the review of SummerSlam. And I want to know from you guys, did you guys enjoy SummerSlam? What was your biggest takeaway from SummerSlam? And if you guys have not yet got to hit that subscribe button, and if you made it this far into the video, there's no way you've watched me for this long and you don't want to watch any more of my videos. So make sure to subscribe wherever the subscribe button is. Make sure to ring that bell for notifications. Watch any of the other videos I have on the channel. I want to say I love you guys for all the love and support that you guys showed me yesterday on my Insta, on my TikTok, and on my Twitch live. It meant the world to me. So I want to say this is much love from me, Alan Owens, to you guys. I love each and every single one of y'all. Peace.